right, so go ahead and head up the Forest Service road here and put the Model 3 to the off-roading test. See how close I can get to the trailhead. Take it down some gravel Forest Service roads. These aren't too bad, but there are some spots where I don't think it's going to really be able to make it because of the ground clearance and having only rear-wheel drive. I might be proven wrong though, so we'll have to find out. It's surprisingly a pretty smooth ride on this Forest Service road. It's kind of bumpy, but it's not bad. Where it starts to get a little bit worse, see how far we can get down in here. So the main thing I'm trying to do is just trying to take care not to let any wheel spin happen. Potentially tear up the tires or shred them or anything. That's the absolute last thing I want way out here in the middle of the woods. Let's take a look at ground clearance. Nothing really sticking out anywhere. Rocks or anything like that. No dragging sounds yet. All right, now here's where it's really going to get challenging, trying to get up this hill here. It's pretty rocky. Some big sharp stones and things like that. Pretty loose too. Some ruts here and there. So, see, maybe I can find a different angle here. Maybe I could try on this side. Because I do have a little bit of rock surface here. Don't want to get on that too much, on that pointed edge. We're on this pointed edge. So let's see what we can do. Pretty steep hill angle. Kind of gives you an idea. So hard to tell on the camera, but it's significantly steep enough that I don't want to ride my bike up it, steep enough that I would rather have a vehicle that can just make it up it. So let's try again. We'll probably get it with a little bit more speed, but I don't want to risk damaging anything. So let's see if we can take a right hand side line and maybe have more luck that way. I don't know, we'll see. I'm worried about hitting on the edge with the front corner, some of that rocky stuff. So let's see what we got. Well, it made it up. It spun a little bit here and there, but I wound up not dragging the bottom at all. So fortunately, it's not too rutted out. It's just really loose. So it's kind of hard to get traction up that, but it made it. Here's the next turnoff point. It's usually pretty muddy here. It's still soft and gross. There are some sticks and things like that could scrape the paint up. I don't think I'm going to be able to get back all the way in here because there is another spot that's pretty bad. But I think I can get through this section here because it's so dry today. Let's see. Now that we got these mean little paint scrapers out of the way, if we can get a little further into the woods with this Model 3 off-road edition. So there's a mean little stone sticking out right here. Started to scrape a little bit of the undercarriage of the car. Thought it was getting the front bumper. Get up on the edge there a little better. The key is just drive more in the middle. Of course, you want to try to avoid scraping the shit out of the car doing this. With all these little branches and things on the side. Well, that'll help prevent scraping that front lip. Pretty much going to be about the furthest point I can get back in here. I don't want to try to make it down that little hill. I do not have the ground clearance for that, especially after scraping on that little rock back there. That'll give me a freaking heart attack. All right, I think this is pretty much it. Got all the way back in here, all except for the little rock descent. I don't think I can make that. There's this little hump right here. The front end will scrape too much. Can't really get up on the sides too much because all these branches and stuff on the side scrape the paint up. So I think that is pretty much it. It's as far back as I can get this Tesla Model 3 into the Boone National Forest. But I would say it's farther than most people would presume. You can take a Tesla off-road, at least a Model 3. Seems a bit out of place out here in the woods. All right, so let's try to creep down this torn up section of Forest Service Road here without dragging anything. Nice thing about electric motors is you can really do some fine modulation of the control on descents. It's doing a pretty good job just kind of creeping down using only the motors, not really having to use much with the brake, just simply letting off the accelerator. Kind of get over to the side here, sliding a little bit on some of that slippery rock stuff.
Now bear right onto Rockcastle River Forestry Road.
A little bit of wheel spin here and there, but just take your time. All right, so we've made it through the worst of the off-road adventures here in the Tesla Model 3. Since I got off the exit, I've run through about 12 miles of range, but I've only come back in here, I don't know, 2 miles at best. Not very far. I think just trying to get up some of these hills and things like that. It's kind of reduce some of the range. Should still have 11% battery when we get to the supercharger. That's about 8 miles south.